Have you heard of the Pomodoro?
Absolutely.
You have.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if you search Pomodoro on YouTube, you can find videos that are set up with both the 25-minute or the 50-minute segment where some of them, there's one series that's Hogwarts themed, like Harry Potter themed. Okay, so you get the ambience and so forth for 25 minutes, and then you hear a little bell, and then the music changes a little, and the scenery changes a little bit, and then it tells you when to come back, and so that goes on for 2 hours.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, it's cool that way because I don't have to worry about setting a timer or anything. I can generally find YouTube okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of a no-brainer, and that's what everything has to be when you're dealing with depression, anxiety, and trying to get creative. Is that you need what you need at your fingertips. I know an ADHD expert that calls this point of performance, where if you have if you're making coffee and you have ADHD and your coffee beans are on one side of the kitchen and the filters are over here, and then you got to walk over here to put water in the kettle. And it's like when you have ADHD, that can just seem overwhelming, and you go, screw it, I'll just
Mm.
not have coffee. I'll just drink beer instead. You know, uh, but if you have everything logically placed at point of performance to where you could do everything at once, then it makes it much easier for someone with ADHD to do that task.
In that case, I don't have ADHD. I'm relatively hyper, um, and too much for many people, but I suppose I'm just
But
trying
keep
to
in
think
mind,
of.
it's a spectrum, and it manifests in many different ways too. I'm
Hmm.
I'm I'm sharing one person's opinion and research,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's interesting because I obviously look at my own experience. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm.
anyway, whatever it is that gets you into that space, make it as accessible as possible. For me, I've just got playlists on YouTube. And in fact, one of them is titled Crash Cart.
What sort of music have you got on that one?
There one of them is just 2 hours of cello music. That's
Shallow
yeah,
music? Uh,
cello. Yeah, I don't know why I
oh.
said cello. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Ah, yeah, it's cello, and that's really just it's kind of a droning, nothing else. It's just a droning cello thing that just you put on a set
Yeah.
of headphones, and it just for me works. Again, others are ambient, um, like lo-fi hip hop, chill hop, stuff like that. Um, there's Om chants,
Oh.
singing bowls, that I think whatever there's a whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I just was looking at something that I spoke to a woman before who was very much ADHD, and she sent me this thing, the Earth's Ohm, 7.83 hertz
Hmm.
apparently. And I'll put it in the chat, which isn't really ideal for the people watching it, but Lee will include it in his posts when he broadcasts it. Um, yeah, you just have it as a background noise, and it's basically a vibrancy
Hmm.
um, that's supposed to be sort of in tune with our very nature. Um, and so when I remember, I pop that on. One of the things I do, it's not this backing, but one of the things I do also to allow my creativity to occur. So I learnt to be an advanced driver after my bike accident, and there's a process, a 5-stage process that you run through in your mind between each point of hazard.